Hey friends, Ash here, WAT News. I'm actually doing just a rant video today. I decided to detach a little bit from all the craziness of the election and all that. Uh, I got a strike on YouTube. Uh, I put up a dig that I did that I won't talk about much here. Uh, you can see those digs I did on my YouTube and on the Rumble site. So I'll just leave them there. But I think they're important videos that everybody should take a look at. So if you get a chance, go over to my YouTube, which is on the right upper right part of the banner. Right next to the brand new tube is my YouTube and my Rumble link. So you can go there for those reports. Unfortunately, some things I can't upload on YouTube anymore. I realize because I will get a second strike, which means that I will have a week where I can't upload anything. So I don't want to deal with that. And I don't want to be censored, so I just decided to do some digs on certain subjects that I see are being censored on YouTube and putting them up in places where they won't be censored, like on YouTube and Rumble and others. So I think as we go forward, that's what's going to start happening. People will go away from some sites that are censoring and they'll go back to certain sites that aren't, and because people want real information. Um, so that's about all I could say on that. Um, what else is there to talk about? Well, the election is one thing, and the ascension is the other thing. And I have been thinking a lot about ego lately, right? The ego must go. The ego needs to be laid down, and it's true because we need to reassess our egos and what space are we living out of, right? Are we living to fulfill ego, or are we living out of our heart space, out of the center of ourselves, right? Out of the peaceful, loving heart space center. Uh, I used to watch the Kane. Remember in Kung Fu, right? And the Kane show. In Kung Fu, Kane would go to the master and he would ask questions. And one time the master said, "Be nothing." Yeah, be nothing, so you will have everything to give to others. And that struck me as interesting. And he was also talking about, in a sense, be at the center of yourself. There's no reason you have to be something every moment, right? You can just exist and yeah, and just be, right? uh, when you exist out of that center space, out of meditation, like when you're in a deep meditation, and you go deep down into the center of yourself, and you're just existing there. You're not worrying about anything. You're not thinking about anything, and yeah, you're free then, right? Your brain is changing frequencies, and things become more open to you, and when your brain frequencies change like that. So that's why some of these dudes that go deep into these meditations for like many years, they get super super deep, because yeah, they're going into realms and they're accessing information that most people don't access, and seeing things that most people can't see. So uh, you know instead of living for this to fulfill ego, right? Whatever the thing is that you're needing to fulfill, whether it's like sex, drugs, working out, right? All these things that are like fulfilling the physical or the five senses. Um, and I think what we're trying to do now is to sort of learn to live in a different way, and to put the ego, not destroy it, but to just put it down a little bit on the side and live out of the heart space. Um, and that's difficult when there's a matrix design that is based on consumerism and based on consume and based on uh, fulfillment in the five senses, right? And that's sort of like where we are in a sense with this whole election, right? Is it's like some people can see there's a huge amount of fraud there, and some people can't. And I think the reason that some people can is because they don't care to know. And it's like that thing that Neo wakes Neo up. It's like this itch in the back of his head. He knows something's not right, but he's not sure. But hey, just go back to sleep and everything will be all right. And then there's the other person that says, well, what is that thing that's going wrong? What is it? What is that itch in the back of my head? I need to explore it. So there's two kinds of people in the world, right? That's really all there is. And that's what I think the Matrix is showing you. That there's those that care to know, and there's those that don't care to know. And the ones that don't care to know took the blue pill, and the ones that did took the red, and they woke up out of the Matrix. And that's real. That decision is real. You have to make it. And if you don't, then you'll stay in the 3D matrix as long as it until it implodes, and then you'll have to wake up. That's what I'm assuming. So the sooner you make a conscious intent inside your mind to leave the matrix, you will leave it. And then it will expel you out like Neo, and you will destroy from the outside like what a lot of others are doing. And that's a good thing. So, in these times of chaos, I think are engineered, and they've been engineered throughout our history to keep you in a low vibrational state, to keep us in a state of fear, to feed some entity that feeds off fear. Whatever that entity you want to talk about is, right? Reptilians, aliens, I don't know. But the point is, there was some darkness here that was feeding on us off of our loosh, our energy, our negative energy, and it's a similar concept to the Matrix in that way, right? They were just making energy using us as an energy source, and it's similar, and just we're not in a machine. The machine that you're in, you can't see because it's all around you. You're not in the pod. The pod is your whole world. This whole fake matrix is the pod. And on top of it, you've been made into a product inside that matrix and given a slave number and put into a system, right? And that's because you're born on water. You turned into the juice, which is money. And once you turned into money in the maritime admiralty law system, you're a product. You're a money product that's created and sent into this fake matrix, unfortunately. So, good luck trying to find your way out of that one, right? And then, of course, they make movies about it to show it to you and rub it in your face. So that's what's been going on. And unfortunately, there's some people that they don't want to realize that. And they'll realize it at some point. But, I wasn't too happy when I realized it. And I saw The Matrix when it first came out, and I didn't get it. Because the internet was only like 3 or 4 years old. Really. The real internet, the internet that had been out, the ARPANET was around before, but nobody would, the masses weren't using that. I told people I didn't have a computer till I was 25 years old. So, a lot of people can't understand that, what that would be like, I guess, unless you're from my generation, which is Generation X. So, I lived half my life outside the Matrix already. So, I could see it more clearly maybe when it was presented to me because, or I could see that something was wrong about it. And I always did because I always never fit into it. I never wanted to be part of it. Every time I tried to assimilate more into it, I was rejected out of it. And so as time went on, and after the Matrix movies had been out enough and some of the sequels had come out, and we had time to digest it and think about it in a more esoteric way or a more removed way from it, to see the bigger picture of it, people started to see it. And once people started to see it, they began to exit out even then. And they didn't maybe consciously know that they had, but they had, because their intent was that they wanted to exit out. And that's what I think. And I don't know the exact moment when I exited out, but, it was many years later. And, I think that's all a part of it, is that how can you figure all that out? And even if you do, then what do you do with that information, right? How do you go forward in some kind of rational, logical way in something that's set up that way? It's not easy. How do you not be angry and want to, full of anger and rage at it? And, yeah, but the same thing with Neo, right? Like, what does he decide to do is destroy it. So that's what we're doing. And it doesn't have to be violent, right? It could be with information. That's what we're doing. We're in an information war. That's what we're in right now. It's an information war. It's a culture war. It's the imposition of certain people's way that they wanted humanity to go in. That's what I think with all this vaccination shit and tattoos and all this stuff. They want to be inside your body at some point, and they're just about there. So, it's a question of, are you going to let them inside your body or not? Is the human collective going to let people inside their body and turn us into some kind of thing that's other than just human, right? I think we're sort of at the simulation right now, and that's what they said the simulation would be, where it's like the merging of technology and humanity, and yeah, but you know, most people don't want that. That's my take on it. Most people don't want to be a cyborg. Yeah, maybe like a third of the society or less maybe would want that, but uh, you know, there's so many implications to it that have to be addressed and all that. So I think we need to look into it more. And obviously, I'm pretty sure that this stuff with the virus is a way to put implant nanotech into the body. It says it uses nanocrystals. So uh, if there's nanocrystals inside a hydrogel that's being pushed into my skin via micro needles, right? That are, and that's what the human dot thing is that Gates is talking about, right? It's a copper dot, a nano dot that goes inside your body that is emitting some kind of information out of your body to somewhere, and maybe taking in messages inside your body. So if that's the case, that was what part of my video was about, is that what's the efficacy of that, and what's the, you know, how does that work? Uh, what if I don't want these things inside my body? I don't want metal and aluminum things in my body or nanoparticles in my body, and I want to take HCl, let's say, instead of whatever this thing is that Moderna has, which a lot of people are looking at and saying, you never made a vaccine for humans before, so what are you doing, right? So anyway, not to get too off track, but uh, the basis of this video was a rant kind of bit, and also to talk about the ego and laying it down. So I think the best thing we could do is lay ego down and deal with our karma. Heal that karma any way possible, deal with it, cut the cords of the ties that bind you to the incidents that you still haven't forgiven, and yeah, just forgive all those that you feel have wronged you and harmed you in any way, and forgive them and send love to those people, and then build your own healing around that foundation. I always say that because it's true, I think, and that's what I've done in my own life, and it's helped me to build a better foundation of me, and be at peace with myself and other people and incidents of the past that I just let be in the past. Yeah. And we all have that stuff. So the sooner you lay that down, the better you'll be, the lighter you'll feel. If you're having like anxiety and depression, it will lighten up. You know, it's part of it, unfortunately, is like training yourself not to be negative about yourself, you know, and you can do that by just catching yourself when you're negative about yourself and saying, you know, that I love myself, and be positive and always have a good positive opinion of yourself, and have the opinion that whatever you're doing, it has to work out in your favor, because that's the only way it can work out. You know, if you think it's not going to work out, then it's not going to work out. So, you know, what you think is very important, your intent is important, your consent is important, right? Intent, consent, right? Do you consent to be in the matrix or not? Do you make an intent in your mind to leave, or do you choose to stay? Because it's choice. You have free will. So, just like with the thing they want you to put on your hands, right? The micro needles, right? You have to put it on. So, if you're saying I have a choice whether I put it on or not, then my intent is I don't want to put it on. I do not consent, right? So, you can keep your bandage or whatever this thing is. I don't need it. I have an immune system, okay? And thank you, but no thank you. I choose not to have nanoparticles inside my body. I don't want hydrogel in my body. I don't want any foreign substances in my body that don't need to be there, especially things made out of copper and aluminum. So, with that, guys, sorry for my long rant. New York update, not looking good. Just watched de Blasio, and he wants to put more restrictions in, more testing in the schools now for the kids. And I just think that these tests are fake at this point, and that they're making it so it makes more cases. That's my take on it. And I can't prove that, but it just seems like the more they want to test, the more the cases go up. So, but the hospitals, there's no one in them. There's no big death rates. There's more cases. But so what? People get the flu every year. I mean, so anyway, with all that, guys, we're still locked down in New York, behind enemy lines, baby. Anyway, I hope you're well. Keep in your center space, keep at peace, and send love to these people if you get in the lockdown. You know, that's what we have to do. They're obviously twisted, dark souls who have lost their way long ago and have uh, given over their power to powerful interests that are controlling them. And so the only thing we can do is either overthrow them somehow with votes or otherwise, or just refuse to follow these mask mandates any longer. And that's what you're starting to see. There was people outside Cuomo's house. There was people outside Newsom's house, California. So the people are pissed off. I just saw some women go up to Governor Murphy in Jersey having a steak dinner with his family and call him, say he was a dick. So the people are starting to speak up, baby. Hold the line. We're coming through. You know, we're gonna get there. Uh, so with that, I wish you peace and love, and I hope you're doing well with your ascension and everything else. Try to lay your ego and you calm it down a little bit and live from your heart space and send out love right now. That's what we need. So with that, guys, I wish you peace and love and talk soon.